Hello. This is Els coming in from Bemis Crafty Corner, and we're here to finish up the work on this little book that we did here. So just a quick review for anybody who's coming into this in part 2 and didn't see part 1. This is a 3x5 index card and divider book. So these are 3x5 index cards, which I tea-dyed. And these are the dividers for a 3x5 card catalog. We selected some paper, and we're using this K & Company pad. This is the best of paper pad, and it is huge. It's 360 sheets, and it's paper. That's kind of important because if you were to put cardstock in here, this sucker would be so huge. We have 4 pages in between each tab, so 8 spaces, you know. And this is what we have left over after we cut our pocket, our page covers. And these are just our little trimmings. You never know when you might want one. And this is a bunch of K & Company ephemera, and some other pieces that I thought just because based on the color palette may work. So they stick to the same color palette basically at K & Company, so any one of these could work on any one of these pages. So we pulled all of that, and then we went through my tickets, my tag box, and we pulled some tags. And we made some tags for this because this is really kind of too big. So we made some smaller tags, and we've got 7 tags here, and these are just the right size for this book. And now we need to create some pockets. So we had originally pulled some little pockets, and I trimmed them down because they were too tall. So I trimmed them down, but when I put them in the book, they are like they're full size to the page. And so I want to try using something that's a little bit smaller, and I have these little coin envelopes, and these are 3.5 by 2.25, and I just want to see if the tags will fit, because if the tags will fit, then we'll use these, and the tags will fit, so we'll go ahead and use these. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal these. I'll seal these up, and then I'll cut them in half, because I think that half is about all we need for these little tags. So let's go ahead and do that and get that together, and then we can move on. So I'm just going to go ahead and use some double-sided tape just to seal these up. And then 3.5, so we'll cut these at 1 3/4. That. That. And just like that. All right. So we've cut all those down, and then we're going to ink these. Now, if you want to put like a little finger tab in here, this is really not necessary for these, okay? Because they are so small. And the tags are going to stand up so high in them. But if you wanted to, just for the look, you could. But at this point, all I'm going to do is I'm going to ink these. And since everything else is tea dyed and these are white, I'm going to ink these pretty heavy. So while I'm inking these, why don't you go and ink yours, and I'll see you back here in just a few moments. So now I have out some of my small scraps of paper here, and I've got my pockets done, and I've inked them all up. And we're going to be cutting some paper to go on the front of these. And these are 2 1/4 by like 1 3/4. So we're going to cut pieces that are 1 1/2 by 2, and that should fit. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's cut one down. And let's ink this real quick, and then we'll just kind of look at it and see if we like it. So again, I'm just using my ink card here to be able to ink this all the way around. And then we'll try one of these on here and see how it looks. And I like it. Okay, so I have all of my little envelopes that have all been inked, and I cut down my papers, and those have all been inked. And for expedient service here, you know, to expedite this, I am going to be using a little bit of glue. But I'm going to be very, very gentle and very, very sparing with it, because we don't want the paper to bubble, and paper will bubble with glue. So we're going to go ahead and get these on here. Now I am going to be mindful of direction when I put these down, because a few of them do look like they have a little bit of a direction to it. So I am going to be careful with that. Making sure that I put the right end on the right side of the pocket. And then once I have these all glued down and together, I'll go ahead and come back and we'll start putting them in the book. So I now have all of my little pockets ready to go, and we can start putting these in anywhere that we want. So what I'm going to do is just kind of spread them out so that we can see what they look like, and then we can decide which one we're going to put where. And then I'm just going to simply glue these down or tape them down. And I am putting a little bit of glue under here because those are only sealed like right in the middle. I don't know why, but that's the way they do these. That's the bottom, what was the bottom edge. And we want to make sure that when we put these in, that, you know, if you didn't notch it, that the top of your pocket's where it's supposed to be, okay? So always kind of just check to make sure that you've got the right side, and be very aware of that. Now, I know I normally don't do pockets this way, you know, where I create the pocket and then glue it down. And the reason I don't is because I don't like to have that lip there when you're trying to put your journal cards and stuff into them. But nope, that's the big end. We did that. But because these pockets are so small, in order to make sure that I had the maximum amount of room in them from side to side, this made more sense. So normally I would just cut the pocket and would glue it down, but by doing that I would actually lose space all the way around, and using these envelopes I have a full pocket. So that's why I decided to do it this way this time. This is the bottom. It's going to need some glue in here. This is the top piece, so I don't need as much glue here because we already taped that shut. Now I think we have one more pocket, then we have tags, so I may have to make one more tag. But I'm okay with that. Okay, last one. Okay, so now we have all of our pockets in. We can start to put in our tags just to see where they're going to go. We will start dressing these up here in a second. That one, this one, this one, And I am going to need to make one more tag. So I'll make sure that I make one more tag before I finish this up. And then I have this little piece here that I thought, you know, this would be a cute little journaling card, but it's too big to be a tag for this book. So I'm just going to cut that piece off, and I'm just going to trim a little bit on the bottom here because it's a little damaged. Okay. Get that little piece off that's damaged. Okay. So now this, because it's just plain on the back, will make a cute little journaling card, and it will not fit into doesn't fit in my pockets. It's too wide, but we're going to ink it up anyway. And we will create a place for this to go. In here. You know what? I think I'm going to round the corners on this just to make it stand out a little bit. And then go ahead and re-ink where I cut that off. And I'll ink the back a little bit. And we'll find a home for this in here, you know, someplace cool, maybe like this. And we'll probably use like a little clip of some kind to put this in. So we'll look at some little clips. Maybe we'll use a clip to put that in. And I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to get out, well, I'm going to keep the, keep the ephemera out, but we're going to get rid of the paper. And I'm going to go ahead and get out some other pieces of ephemera, and we're going to see about, you know, decorating this. I'll be right back. Well, so we're going to kind of go through and see, you know, what we can do. We don't want to do too much, and we don't want to do too little. So I really like this set, and I think it matches the overall of the book. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. And I'm going to dump this one. And then we'll get rid of the bigger pieces because we can't use the big ones. But we'll see what we have in the little ones. Okay, so I went ahead and I pulled out all the small pieces. And, you know, we have quite a few things here. We have an abundance of ladybugs. We have some bees, lots of bees. Some little flowers. We have some bees on flowers. We have some bigger pieces, but I think we can fussy cut this out because I kind of like that butterfly. And we have some butterflies and some other things. And so now that we finished up with that first one, I want to look and just see if, you know, any of these acetate flowers will work in here. I think this will go nicely. Go ahead and peel this. So like that. I'm going to take a little bit off the end of this, I think. Just that little piece off the end. And then we'll go ahead and peel this one and put this one on down here. Maybe here. Let's see what happens. Nope. I'm going to take this off right here. We're going to put it right here because, you know, it's cute. All right, I'm good with these. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next set. Get these off the board. The next one we're going to look at is going to be this one. This is the purple set. So I'm just going to cut this off here. Now I always put the card in there so that I know what it, you know, should have, what it might have. Helps me to just be able to look at it. So we're going to go ahead and take some of these out. But I don't really want the acetates, so I'm going to put those back in. For me, the acetates are just, like I said, without having the right adhesive for them, they really just don't work. So I've pulled out some of the purple and blue set. And we'll just kind of look and see if there's any place in here where we think some of these things might, you know, might have a home. And if we find a home for it, then, you know, we'll ink it up and put it in. Okay. I think we're going to make this a tuck. It's a little ink. A little blue. Just on the bottom. And that gives us a nice little place to, again, tuck something in. Okay? We're going to add this little flower over here. Butterfly's about to lose his antennas. Don't worry, we'll put him back on. But for the moment, he's going to lose his antennas. All right, we're going to ink. And then we're going to glue right here, down there, across the bottom, and up the top. And this is going to go right there. And then I'm going to take his antennas. I'm going to put a little glue on the back. This is one of those fussy little things. One antenna. I'm going to do this one too. Okay. Two antenna. We're going to let that dry for just a second. And what we've done is we've created a workable, usable pocket where we don't have his antenna interfering. Okay? We are done. So what we did here is we took some index cards and we tea-dyed them, and then we added some index tabs, some file tabs, and then put in some beautiful papers that are Can Company. And then we spiral bound the whole thing, and then we made some tags, and then I just took some ribbon and added some ribbon using my stapler so that we didn't add too much bulk because it's already kind of bulk. Then we went in and we added some ephemera from the Can Company, and I just made some little journaling cards, tiny ones because it's a tiny book. That just go into some little tuck spots that we have throughout, and I left a lot of blank space to be able to write, and just beautiful tags throughout with cute little pockets that we used coin envelopes to make. And here's that one little journaling card, and I put that in with a little paper clip that just says fun. Clip that on, and we have a little bee up here, very cute. And again, just some minor details, lots of places to be able to write and jot things down. We have a little side tuck over here, and another journaling card, and just all the way through, just little details, as minimal as possible. And then this little pocket here, love this little pocket, because this little pocket actually works without the antennas, so we don't disturb them in any way. And then I'm just going to tie the whole thing up with a piece of sari. And that's it. That's our little teeny file card, file index, ring bound journal. That's it, guys. That's the whole thing. Listen, if you're new here and you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that red button for me and subscribe, like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends. Then your friends can be my friends, and my friends can be your friends, and our friends can get to be friends. And before you know it, we have a giant friendly community. Until I see you again, stay safe. Bye-bye.